We just saw Blended, the new rom-com with Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler. The way this show works, we'll tell you really quickly whether we like the movie or not, and give you a chance to decide if you want to go see it. If you do, you can stop the video and come back and watch it after. Otherwise, you can continue watching, and we'll talk more about spoilers and plot points and those sorts of things. So real quick, I like this movie quite a bit. I actually kind of thought it was great. It was much better than I expected it to be. Adam Sandler's had a really bad track record for the last 10 years or so, and Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler together, I think The Wedding Singer and 50 First Dates. The Wedding Singer I like. I know it's not for everybody. 50 First Dates I did not like. I think that was kind of on the downward turn for him, but this wasn't written by him. It's got some of his humor in it, but it's very much a modern romantic comedy about two single parents who are dealing with teenage or preteen children getting together. They don't go into a lot of... They don't protract out the premise, which is really nice. I was really worried that this movie was going to be like 25% of it was going to be them getting to Africa or them hating each other in Africa, and they really don't do that. They get through what the trailer shows you very quickly, and there's a lot of laughs before that and up until then, and they really do a good job of establishing all those relationships. So I think it's a good movie. It's a solid romantic comedy. It's probably even better date movie than something like Neighbors, because it's not an R-rated comedy, so it's going to have a wider appeal. And the audience in our screening really liked it, and I think you probably will too.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was actually a pretty big fan of the previous two Adam Sandler, Drew Barrymore movies. I really enjoyed them both. But yeah, I do think it's definitely better. There was a lot of parts that were really charming, and all the kids had their own little thing, which is you never know what to expect with kid actors. I think they all did pretty good, and being who they are, and like Dale said, they kind of got to the point pretty quick. They get the exposition out of the way pretty quickly. You find out why they're single pretty quick, and then then you can get into the meat of the movie without a big, without being real slow or anything. But consistent laughs. Even though Adam Sandler, I guess, didn't write it, you get to see a lot of the usual Adam Sandler suspects. So, you've got Kevin Nealon and half of the other actors I can't ever remember that are always in Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah, the bad grandpa dude shows up for a little bit.
10 Second Tom, which not only is it one of the same actors, but one of the same characters, which was a funny little gag. Mm-hmm. Terry Crews, I don't always forget, but sometimes I forget how funny Terry Crews can be. Because, the last couple times I've seen him in a theater have been like with Expendables. Yeah. So it's nice to see him in a comedy again on the big screen.
Yeah, he was a funny
guy.
He was funny. So that's our quick overview. Definitely go check it out if you're interested in seeing a romantic comedy. Emphasis on the comedy, I would say, over the romantic side of it, but it's got a little bit of that too. And it's also, I think, a movie that is family friendly enough that you could take the kids to see it and enjoy it. So getting into a little bit more, I really liked how consistent this movie was. The jokes worked pretty well pretty much all of the time. That the humor never seemed... A lot of times in movies like this, the humor seems to either be really sophomoric out of nowhere or really adult out of nowhere,
especially with Adam Sandler.
Yeah,
especially with some of his movies.
And that didn't happen in this so much. There were some sort of one-line child performances that were really bad, but not from the main cast. It was just they'd bring in some extra who was probably like the producer's kid or something that they just wanted to throw in the movie for a minute. Mm-hmm. Terry Crews does the exact same shtick through the entire movie, and it's funny. They keep throwing it in there, and they keep like using him as an exposition machine, which is kind of fun. The chemistry between Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore, I like the way that it starts with them sort of developing hostility towards each other.
Yeah, well, not just the way it starts out super awkward.
It starts out awkward, and it turns to hostility, and then it becomes like eventual, like, they respect each other as parents.
Like some grudging acceptance kind of happening, yeah.
It's more they like each other as parents even more than they really are interested in each other for themselves. And that's like becomes the mantra of the movie is that your kids are 99% of your life, and what you want's 1% of your life.
Yeah, and I don't have kids, so but I feel like even though I don't have kids, I think that kind of resonates. Like I think that's kind of the way single parents would be if they were in that situation. That's what they're going to be going after.
Yeah, and they also dealt with, like the other Drew Barrymore's friend who works with her in the closet company. Like, she's dating a guy with a bunch of kids, and she doesn't have any kids, and so they kind of explore from that perspective too, like what that angle looks like, and how, if Adam Sandler's character didn't have kids, or Drew Barrymore's character didn't have kids, it would be a very different movie. So, and that's where it may not have been obvious from the trailer and all that, but that's what blended means. It's about blended families, and they go on this whole African resort thing, and that's the only thing that I was like mildly uncomfortable about, was just the like South African, like, it had kind of a we're on safari in the like 21st century kind of feel to it. Kind of played the stereotypes of Africa a little wide here and there. But I mean, it probably no more so than like if they had shot it in Hawaii and they had a bunch of hula dancers and in all the scenes, and it's just
a different shtick.
It's like they went to the Disney version of Africa, I guess is the way of saying it.
Yeah, because there were scenes where they're riding on 4-wheelers through, and there's I'm almost certain that doesn't happen. Those are a little more structured than that.
That whole the whole scene where she's
the parasailing,
and she sees like the different animals, and it's obviously like stock footage of elephants. Oh, look, stock footage of.
I'm expecting just David Attenborough to just start narrating.
Yeah.
One of the things I don't know if I've ever seen it in a movie before, but one of my favorite gags in the movie, and they did it twice, was the whole part where somebody makes an entrance, and then various characters have a reaction, and then their reaction is a song.
So that's in the trailer.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. The first one of those is in the trailer, and I've seen the trailer enough times that I actually kind of got sick of that joke.
Yeah.
But when they bring it back the second time, that was the only time that I felt like it kind of, and it's really like the movie is pretty much over by this point. Like it's done with the second act is closing at this point, but the trailer does the song where the girl walks in and Drew Barrymore sees her and is like approving, and they're doing that "I'm Every Woman" song.
Yeah.
And then the like boy that she's interested in sees her, and it plays "I'll Make Love to You." Right. And Adam Sandler sees her, and it plays "It's the End of the World as We Know It" by REM. They do this a second time, and it's
with the same songs.
With the same songs, except there's one added. So it's Drew Barrymore comes in. The same girl sees her and does the "I'm Every Woman."
Yep.
Adam Sandler sees her and does the "I'll Make Love to You." Her son sees her and does the "End of the World as You Know It." And then it just randomly cuts to this Indian woman who's there with her husband, and it does "I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It," which is Katy Perry. Yeah. So
I thought it was a fun gag. I mean, I could see getting
Yeah.
tired of it in the trailer, but
It was
it
a
was
fun
clever.
gag.
I thought it was really clever. I hadn't seen that before. I almost expected a third time just because threes, but I don't know how you
Yeah.
could possibly pull it off again. But
and again, that would be something that if this were a Happy Madison movie, that would have been. They would have either played that into the ground, or that would have been the funniest thing to happen for half an hour.
yeah,
You know, because they just can't. I don't know.
yeah, it was the laughs were pretty well paced.
I thought Kevin Nealon was pretty lame in this movie, actually.
Yeah,
But I think he was there to do what he was there to do. You know, he was there
Yeah,
to
I
kind
mean-
of do his subliminal.
yeah, it was just him and his new wife thing, just showing what an extremely overly happy blended couple could be, and that's basically all
true.
they were there for.
Yeah,
Just to remind us and the leads every so often.
he was almost like. He almost played like a role like I would expect like Fred Willard to be in, where it's like he's there with like a much younger woman.
Yeah,
and,
right, because he's the sort of,
they're sort of doing that thing, but he also did his just like, you know, subliminal man, or the, you know, be the ball thing from Happy Gilmore, you know,
right.
put it in the hole, send him home, that kind of thing. But anyway, it's a good movie. Nothing really to
Yeah, nothing.
much more to say about it.
Surprising about
Go see it if it sounds like interesting viewing to you. And check out our other movie reviews here on YouTube and over at DaleMaxfield.com. Thanks for watching.